Hey, so last time we looked at the sell side analyst screen. So we looked at some of the some of the ways you can look at sell side analysts, look at their research, and really start to kind of get an opinion and start to develop your thoughts on these companies, where they're growing, where you see their risks at. Um, and today I kind of wanted to fly through a couple of the other screens that I'll use. I mean, there's about another 20 that you can use. I want to introduce them to you. Make sure you're pausing this video when I introduce them to you. Look them up on your Bloomberg screen. I would have me up on one screen. Sometimes, usually Bloomberg, you have two or four screens. Have me up on one, have your Bloomberg up on another, and then try to follow along so you can kind of start getting these too. I'm kind of tired of Disney, so let's choose another company. I was going to do John Deere, if that's all right. Here's DE Equity, enter. And then another thing I'll look at is the management of the company. So MGMC stands for management. We'll go to that, and these show you the top. Looks like 11 people um, on their board, or not. Probably mostly they are, their CFO, CEO, things like that. The most important people in their company. At the top is almost always the CEO. 62 years old. He's worked there for 6 years. Looks like it's a relatively young staff, but nothing to be too concerned. I'm always concerned if it's, everyone's only been there half a year, or I'm always concerned if everyone's been there 50 years too. You like to kind of see a variety. But you can always click on these people. This is like a LinkedIn for executives here. You can see on the right side where they've worked, everything they've done, what boards they sit on. Um, let's see, phone number. You can see kind of his pay, uh, what, um, how much he holds in each security, in his main security. So he has almost $24 million in John Deere, which is always good. I always like to see management being invested in the company. And also, he's got 1.6 million in Whirlpool. I don't know if he's a board member of Whirlpool or not. Actually, yeah, he is over there. Isn't that funny how that works out? So those are kind of his two main holdings. Then also has some news for him, something about board of directors, um, maybe added a new board of director or something like that. So I'll read through a couple of these. Usually, oops, let's go back. Anytime you can always go back to MGMT. Always go back to your ticker, and it'll bring you to the front. Um, let's look at somebody else, maybe the CFO here. I always like to look at him too. Used to be the director of sales and marketing, then a financial officer. Some news, nothing too exciting, doesn't look like. But I'll click on a couple of those. Usually the CFO, CEO, and maybe a couple more other important people. Next thing I'll go to is DVD. This stands for dividends. I want to know if they're paying out dividends, if they've been consistent paying out dividends, if the dividends are growing, or if it's very fluctuating. And then also their yield. So 12-month yield is, if you don't know this is the last 12 payments they've paid divided by the current price. Indicated yield, this matters more for a company that grows their dividends a lot. It'll be their last dividend times 4 divided by their price. So I like the indicated yield. I think it gives you a little better picture of typically what you're going to be paid over the next 4 months if you buy this stock. Especially one, let me try to go to one that's growing. PFXP is Phillips 66 Partners. So you see they're growing their dividend every single year. If you grab their last 4 dividends, you're at a 2.8 yield. Whereas if you grab their last dividend, multiply it by 4, and actually it should be growing, so you should get a little bit bigger than that. But it should be at least 3.12. So that's a little bit better yield estimation on your dividends. But let's go back to John Deere. Another thing I'll look at is PHDC. Shows you the ownership of the stock. here we can see kind of the total ownership, who owns the most of this stock, and how much money do they have. If it's all owned by a family, that tells you one thing about the company. If it's all owned by, it looks like here it's all mostly owned by big corporations, Berkshires, BlackRocks. They're owning a major percentage of these stocks. And it shows you their last change. Vanguard's been selling. I've never heard of Cascade Investment. They own about 10% of their stock. Maybe I would read up about them, who they are, and different things like that. So I'm gonna close it out for now. But that's something that I would be looking for. Who's the main people that own this stock? That's total. Then you can also do insiders. Another interesting thing. You can look at who owns the most out of the insiders. I think this was that CEO we just looked at. His last change, he's been selling stock. He sold 12,000 shares. I don't know if that should be alarming or not. He could have sold it for anything, but it's not positive. If he was buying a ton of shares while the price dipped down, that would be positive. You can kind of see how much he's owned through the years if you click on that right button. And so I'll look through that and kind of help as well. So MGMT, we did PHDC, and MGMT, and then also DVD is another important one we looked at. I think that should be enough for today. We'll go through some more, a couple more steps, and we'll show you a couple more things that I look for in the next video. Thanks.